In January 1959, 10 young people from the Ural Polytechnical Institute boarded a train chasing the hardest prize in Soviet skiing, a Grade 3 winter trek to a mountain called Ottort. They were engineering students and graduates, fit, clever, and seriously experienced. Leading them was 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, a born organizer whose name this story would eventually carry forever. They rode the rails, then a truck to Vizhai, the last village before the wild. Then they clipped on their skis and pushed north into the frozen Ural backcountry. One member, Yuri Yudin, was aching with joint and back pain, and on January 28th he made the smartest, unlucky decision of his life. He turned back. 10 went in. 9 kept going. For days they hauled heavy packs through deep snow, caching surplus food to travel lighter, grinning for their cameras the whole way, and those photos survived. On February 1st, instead of dropping 1.5 kilometers to the sheltered tree line, they pitched their tent high on an exposed slope of Kholat Syakhl. In the local Mansi language, that means dead mountain. The name was already centuries old. That night, in roughly minus 25 degrees, something happened. When they missed their check-in, a search launched. On February 26th, rescuers found the tent half collapsed and dusted over with snow, sitting alone on the slope. And here is the single most important, most misremembered fact in this entire story. The tent had been sliced open from the inside. The hikers cut their own way out. Nobody clawed in at them. Stranger still, almost everything was left behind: boots, coats, warm clothing neatly inside. And leading away from the tent, downhill into a lethal storm, were footprints of people in socks and bare feet. About 1.5 kilometers down, beside a tall cedar and the ashes of a small fire, lay Yuri Doroshenko and Georgy Krivonishenko, stripped to their underwear. Branches were snapped high in the tree, as if someone had climbed to look back. Between the fire and the tent lay 3 more: Dyatlov, Rustam Slobodin, and Zinaida Kolmogorova, frozen in mid-crawl, facing uphill, as if dying while trying to get home. The last 4 wouldn't surface until May, when the snow melted. Lyudmila Dubinina, Semyon Zolotaryov, Nikolai Thiboks-Brignoles, and Alexander Kolvatov buried deep in a ravine. They had crushing injuries. Some had missing soft tissue. The Soviet verdict: a compelling natural force. Then the file was classified. Locked away. And a sealed file is a blank canvas. So the world started painting. Theory 1, the Yeti or the Mansi Menk snow creature. Searchers actually joked about it in a photo caption, and believers sprinted with that joke for 60 years. The mountain is named Dead Mountain, so obviously monster. Case closed. Except no. Theory 2, secret Soviet weapons. Parachute mines, rockets. That explains the broken bones and the glowing orange lights other hikers swore they saw in the sky, which slid neatly into Theory 3, aliens and UFOs, those same orange spheres now extraterrestrial. And Theory 4, the KGB, because Zolotaryov was older, an outsider, a war veteran who joined late, clearly a spy in a murder plot. The evidence? Faint traces of radiation found on a couple of garments. Cue the death ray music. Here's the thing about that radiation, though. Krivonishenko worked at the Mayak nuclear plant. He'd carry traces home on his clothes. And 1950s camping lantern mantles were made with radioactive thorium. Trace contamination on a sweater isn't a government conspiracy. It's basic Cold War chemistry. Every spooky clue had a quiet, boring engine, Soviet secrecy, doing what secrecy always does, letting our imaginations build monsters. Then the grown-ups arrived. In 2020, Russia's own reinvestigation reached a verdict: avalanche, a slab of snow. Many scoffed that gentle slope looked far too soft to slide. So in 2021, physicists Johan Gaume and Alexander Puzrin published a peer-reviewed model in a Nature journal showing exactly how a delayed slab avalanche could release right there. The hikers had cut into the slope to pitch the tent. Katabatic winds piled snow on a weak layer for hours. In the night, it let go. A small, dense slab striking people lying down delivers crash-like rib and skull fractures, with the skin barely broken. To prove the snow behaved that way, Gaume's team borrowed animation code from Disney's Frozen. Yes, the math behind Elsa's snow helped crack a 1959 mystery. The rest falls into place: paradoxical undressing, where freezing bodies feel a false burning heat and tear off their clothes, and eyes and tongue. The first soft tissue lost to months in meltwater and scavengers. No torture, just nature and our need for a better story. Honor the 9, the real mystery is how long we prefer to ghost. Of course, sometimes Siberia does something that nobody can shrug off so easily. In 1908, a force flattened 80 million trees across hundreds of square miles, knocked flat like matchsticks, all pointing outward from a single spot. And yet, where you'd expect a smoking hole, searchers found no crater at all. Next time, Tunguska.